Football. So my name is Chantel. I run a toddler football business. I run that for just over 6 years now. So we focus on teaching children to play football, learn through play, from 16 months up to the age of 6 years. We've been getting on really well. We've opened up various locations, but I just kind of found that we was getting at a bit of a standstill. So we was kind of just getting comfortable, which was fine, but we wasn't really moving anywhere. So we have just under 400 children now, and I saw one of the ads for the Scale to Freedom Accelerator course, which is where I started with Katie. I attended that. I had a phone call with Katie as well. She's lovely, really friendly. I've had various coaches in the past for different things, mindset, business and fitness. But in terms of business, Katie is the one for us. Obviously, she specialises in children's activity for business owners turning over 6 figures. So she ticked every box for us. It made complete sense for us to sign up to her. So during the 15-minute chat with Katie before signing up, I got on really well with her. I explained the business. She completely understood, which is something that I haven't had from other coaches before. They've always found it really fun and exciting, but then they've given us ideas, but they're not necessarily ideas we can implement because they don't actually have the skill set. Katie does have that. She's been doing this for, I think, just under 20 years now. So I've been working with Katie for the last few months. A lot of what she said on our call, I could completely relate to. It's stuff that I'd thought about and things that I'd wanted to do with the business, just hadn't pushed forward with it. So since working with Katie, we've been able to make loads of changes, get new people on board to help us improve the business, but also improve it a little bit quicker, such as like Facebook ads. It isn't really a speciality of mine, so I stopped doing it, but we've now got someone on doing that. I do a lot of manual work in terms of spreadsheets and chasing parents. We've now got a virtual assistant on board. So it's allowing me to create some of that white space that Katie calls, to put my time and energy into more exciting bits of the business, but also expand it. So the aim is to obviously get the numbers from the just under 400 mark, but to boost them right up. And I just feel with Katie's help and support, that's something that we're going to be able to do. I'm already noticing that the numbers are growing just because I'm doing extra little bits within the business. I kind of feel like I have that extra energy. I've got a bit more of a buzz about the business now. And it isn't just about Katie as well. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but there's a great group of people within the team. So obviously there's me as a toddler football. There's a lot of other business owners, gymnastics, theatre, dance, other football clubs. So you can catch up with those as well. So you'll get your one-to-one calls with Katie, which are amazing. I always leave feeling absolutely buzzing, albeit a little bit drained because I get so excited on them and I leave with so many things that I want to do and put into place, but that is a positive problem to have. And then you get your group sessions as well with the team, so you can hear any highs and lows that they're going through at the minute. You can help them, they can help you. So it's really good, really positive. If you're looking to make that next change in your business and you want to grow a little bit quicker, a little bit bigger, but you're just not really sure where to do it or how to do it, I'd 100% recommend the course. Kate is lovely. The other people in the course are lovely as well. I'm often reaching out to them as well. Yes, if you need a coach and you've got a children's activity business, Katie, I'd say she's the coach for you. So yeah, good luck, sign up. What are you waiting for?
and I run a theatre school business for children called Stepping Out Stars of Tomorrow, hence the bowler hat and the show pictures in the background. I've had my school for 15 years and absolutely love doing what I do, and I've had several business coaches through that period, but I just felt with Katie that I really connected to her. She was really lovely on the phone. I felt that she had a wealth of experience which would really help me take my business to the next level. And that's not to say that the coaches that I'd had before weren't great, because they really were, but I really like the fact that Katie's mentorship had lots of different children's activities in it. And I think it's fantastic that I can learn from football coaches or rugby coaches. It's not just about dance and performing arts. And that was something that really struck a chord with me. I've been in the membership for the last couple of months, and I've really enjoyed the time that I have already started to implement some of the amazing things that Katie has suggested. The first being bringing an extra 55,000 into my business, which could be fantastic if that comes off. So yeah, I'm really super happy and really recommend the CEO membership. It's great.
Hi, my name is Amy Schweizer, founder and director of Tiny Troop Soccer. I am so excited to join Katie in the Gold Medal Coaching Program. On our intensive day, Katie was kind enough to allow my director of operations as well as my assistant director to join us. We had 4 hours of one-on-one personalized coaching that was directly for our business. Katie is the first professional that I've come across that is focused on children's activities business. So that is what first drew us to her. After taking her Scale to Freedom Accelerator, I knew that this would be a great fit, and the focus day just completely solidified that. We're excited to work on our marketing programs as well as our affiliate locations. I'm excited to see what Katie has in store and how my business is going to grow. Thank you.
aka Miss Bree, and I'm the founder and director of Daytona Beach Music Academy in Daytona Beach, Florida, United States. Just wanted to hop on and tell about my experience with Katie so far, and it's been amazing. She is a wealth of information, and she's very down to earth, straight and to the point, and will tell you the truth. So one of the first things that made an immediate difference for me was my change in prices. I was planning, I think I started a little bit before May, and I was planning on doing a price increase in September because that's when I usually do my, what we call my annual calendar. And she was like, why wait? Do it now, especially going into summer, which is when a lot of times we'll have a lot of drops. And fortunately, I am happy to report that it made sense to me. I was encouraged to do, or my assignment was to do market research to see basically, that I'm not charging too low nor too high. And then from there, I decided on a price, and we talked through some different things. I can say that when I went into summer, I did not feel like, it actually helps me to maintain. There were actually only a few drops, and that was another advice that was given, was like, hey, don't make a big announcement about, hey, what are you going to do for summer? And that made a huge difference. And so, yeah, just those two things alone, raising the prices, doing market research sooner than later, going into the slower season, kept me afloat. And I'm looking forward to more of working with Katie. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katie Cannon, former 5-time British gymnastics champion turned 7-figure entrepreneur in this industry. Welcome. We're about to get started for our accelerator program. And I just wanted to share with you, it's always really important to know who exactly you're learning from. And one thing you're going to be in for a hell of a treat this week. We're going to be teaching you really great business strategies to really scale your brand. We're going to be teaching you, one thing I'm very passionate on is teaching you timeless business principles that are going to serve you for not just today, but in years and years to come. Not just a quick wins or a quick strategy. That's not going to build a 6-figure plus business. Whatever your goal is, you need the deep-rooted strategies. So I just wanted to do a little bit of an intro on my background and how, I can serve you today, and very much kind of the results that our community and what you can expect to start learning and expect to start implementing. One of the things that we are big on at Gold Medal is really supporting you from the ground up. And I do that because I've worked at every level possible. I've been in this industry for over 20 years. I was a brand new startup business. You name it, I've done it. We've had a franchise model across 100 schools across the London area. We've done the village halls, the schools. We've done own premises. We've rented space. You name it, we have done it. But the biggest thing is I'm still in the industry today. I've made a lot of mistakes. And that is one of the reasons, quite honestly, why Gold Medal exists today, because you're not just learning from 20 years of experience, you're also learning from in the trenches what's working today. So I still have big teams today, my own facilities today, and your learners said what's working, but also from 20 years of experience. You're going to see one of the things that we are going to be doing that we're big on is holding your hand. We're nurturing you to success. We're teaching you to build a champion business, hence why we're called Gold Medal Business. We're going to be working with you to really delve deep in your leadership, your mindset, as well as the key core principles that are going to really support you to build your brand today so that you can scale to the level that you want. In our community, our clients are hitting some really great student numbers, some really great marketing results. But one of the biggest things is they're being able to step out their businesses. They're not exhausted. They've got time freedom. They're then in multiple different avenues within different businesses because they have the time and the freedom, and they've learned how to create one business to maybe $500,000, $1 million, depends what their goal was. But they now have the skills to then be able to duplicate. So you're in for a right treat. Get ready as we're literally about to start. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello, my gorgeous friends. Lovely to see you all. Please put on your wonderful videos. As I said yesterday, I don't like talking to just a black screen. So if you're in your PJs, if you're having your dinner, wherever you are, no judgment. Unless you're driving, pop on your videos so I can see your wonderful faces. So it's an honor to be with you on day 2 of our Thrive and Grow Masterclass for 2025. So I am your host this evening, Katie Cannon, and I've been in this industry for over 20 years. I literally started in this industry fresh out of university, doing a lot of school gymnastics classes. That's exactly where I started, and has grown in many different, as you've just heard from my background that I shared before we went live. So if you're on day 2 and you're just joining us, you're in for a great treat this week with a wealth of experience at my fingertips. I struggle to compact as much into these trainings as I can without overwhelming you. So there's always things that I want to be able to teach you, but I don't want to overwhelm and pack so much into like a 35, 40-minute training, which is hard at times when you've been in the industry for so long. So welcome. We are on day 2. If you missed us yesterday, do not worry. The replay is up in the Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook community, please just put in the chat box if you're on YouTube streaming, if you're in our Facebook community, if you're streaming in on Instagram, just pop us a DM or a comment or a chat in Zoom and just put FB so we can get that across to you, because it's a hub of amazing information, all the replays and incredible resources for you on a daily and weekly basis. It's the main place that I put all of my information for my main community. So that's the first thing. So if you have missed day one, do not worry. After today, go back, watch day one, because they do build on each other. You have to watch them, not necessarily. It does help if you watch them in the right order, but it's not make or break. So as long as you catch up, you won't be behind and you're not missing any pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. So secondly, if you haven't yet, I was informed by Glia as I jumped on, I have 2 spaces on the calendar for my team and I. If you want to have your 20-minute customized growth call with my team and I this week, there are 2 spaces left for this week. There's a few for next week as well, but that is our gift to you for taking part and showing up and being committed to your business this week. And there is no better gift that we can give you. We shared the importance of this yesterday, is customization for your business. Everybody, even though we're all children's activity entrepreneurs, we're all in the different industries within it. Some are in the franchise model. Some are 6-figure entrepreneurs and been in business for 15, 20 years. Some are just getting started. Some are working in school halls and very much the school model. Some have their own facilities. Some are business to business. Some are contractors, freelancers, very different models within the industry. We're all working with children, but they all differentiate. So it's important. That's why that call is positioned for you, because there may be things that I'm talking about this week that you're like, that's great, Katie, but that's not really relative to my business. So you're going to take some things that are going to relate and some things that are not, because I can't train to every single person during the week. That is why the calls are customized for you, so we can really dial in on what is your goal, what's important to you, what are your struggles, and give you the specific personalized time. So Glia, my darling, my gorgeous, wonderful assistant, Glia, can you just pop the link for everybody in the chat box again, which is our 20-minute growth call, if you haven't yet, to grab your position. So a little bit of a recap from day one. We covered yesterday building out your white space, building out your priorities, sorting out what your actually CEO position looks like in your business. Remember what I was saying? It depends. You know, you might be very brand new in business. That being a CEO of your business might feel like a couple of years off, but you plan as you mean to go on. So always have that end goal in mind. So it's looking at making sure you've got the space and the capacity to then build out and think about your business. Today, we're going to be working on supersizing your student numbers. Now, when we're supersizing your student numbers, today I'm going to be giving you 3 pointers that are not necessarily direct external marketing. It's very much internal marketing to ensure you are converting your trials, your members, or whatever system you're using a lot quicker and a lot smarter. The reason why, all the time I see in people's businesses, sales go up and then we're struggling for team. So we're like, push student numbers. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, oh my God, this is amazing. The student numbers are great. I've got enough team. Who are we going to find? Then we interview someone crappy. Then we get a bit desperate. Then we throw them in and think, oh my God, sink or swim. I hope they're good. I hope they're good. And then they don't turn up. And then they suddenly give notice after 3 days because, oh my gosh, it's too stressful. It's too hard, you know, and you're like, oh gosh, grow a pair, basically. But you're literally like, you get desperate because we're doing this all over the time. You need to, and I talk more about this tomorrow when we're building team, you need to be growing 2 together. Recruiting for your team is marketing. It's exactly the same as recruiting to student numbers. The 2 come together. You can't do one without the other. So it's really important that when you are you're increasing your sales, you're increasing your team, you're increasing your members, you then need to maximize your retention with great customer service. Now, when you haven't got some of the basic principles that I'm going to go through with you, and these are the key fundamentals. These are the key fundamentals. There's a lot more to this process, but I wanted to give you some tangibles to get started with and the core foundations of this structure if you haven't got this in your business already. One, I was coaching some in our silver program and our gold mentorship today. I was coaching some of our clients who they were like, do I need this yet, Katie? Because my phone isn't yet off the hook. They've got about 100, 110 students. We can still kind of manage this manually. And like I've just said, you make the decision as you see the future of your business. All right. Excuse me, a tickle in my throat. So you want this piece that I'm going to teach you completely in place way before that phone is ringing off the hook. Otherwise, you are going to struggle. Then what is going to happen? I'm just going to grab a drink, 2 seconds. Drink my gallons of water that I have here. Always happens. Launch week, I get a cough. It's like the children know that I have a masterclass to teach, so they decide to bring all the germs into the house, and I can feel my voice going tickly on like Saturday night, and I'm like, no, I have to speak for 5 days. So apologies if I start coughing and I have to drink my gallons of 3 liters down below, like I've got right next to me. So bear with me, but I hope we'll all be good. Now, the reason you want, and the reason I said at the beginning, we increase numbers, we increase team, we increase mentorship and members. We want to then maximize retention. But if we haven't got everything in place, customer service dips. Not because we're lazy, it's because of the overwhelm, the stresses and strains of the business that are pulling us in all different directions. And the customer service can often wean. And the biggest thing that I often say to people, do not be putting Facebook ads on and pushing hundreds of leads through your business if you haven't got this process that I'm going to teach you in place. Because quite frankly, I don't want you to be losing leads because you haven't got the capacity to serve them in the right way. So I'm going to start with number one. Now, number one is what you need in place in terms of your basic tools and your basic tool setup. Now, your tool setup, you need to have a database and a CRM. If you've been in business a long time and you already have both of these in place, I just want you to give me a wave. I just want you to literally pop this in the chat box. I literally want you to put this on live stream, YouTube, wherever you're tuning in from. I just want you to put database or CRM or both. Now, the difference between the two, a database is something that collects your parents' details. So your database is what collects anyone. So think of it this way. Your database is anyone that is a client already that is paying you money. Your CRM is your marketing machine. And this is where I'm seeing lots of yeses. I'm seeing lots of yeses on our streaming in from our YouTube of that you've got both. That is amazing. I'm also seeing comments on why do I need both? So I'm going to share that with you. With the database is your current clients. Your CRM is where you're good, is your marketing. Your CRM is your marketing machine. They are very different. Don't get confused between them. Now, I really want to, I've been working with developers on this. I'm trying to find particular companies to do this. I have found particular companies that may do it well, but there's always, the grass is never greener, as it were. There's always a really good database, and CRM's a bit iffy. So you may work with Class for Kids. You might work with iClass Pro. You might work with Love Admin. There are multiple different databases that you can utilize. Secondly, your CRM. There are loads of these, from Entreport to Go High Level to MailChimp. There are loads of CRMs. It doesn't matter which one you use, but the difference between the two, your CRM is where you are going to market and nurture your customers. So your CRM is what is nurturing and taking them from a cold lead into a warm lead, into a hot lead, into then turning them into a customer. Then they go over to your database. So your database is what's going to be doing all your registers, doing all your invoices, doing all your late payments, doing moving up in classes. It will have the ability to be sending out certain emails as well, but it's not going to have the scheduling ability that can automate things 24/7 with emails and with text. So that's number one I wanted to cover, guys, of the importance of what the difference is. And we are going to be working with some co-working space later on in the week to differentiate and to help you build those out. But that is the difference between your database and your CRM. I've worked with businesses that are got a good couple of hundred students, if not more, where they may have the database in place, because that's often always the one that people have, but they haven't got all the marketing machine next to it. And that's why then, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you cannot grow, you're struggling to scale, you're feeling like you're working all the hours under the sun, it's normally because those two systems are not working and set up with the correct functionalities needed. So that is number one, building out your tools. Number two is your enrollment structure. So your enrollment structure is taking your cold lead into warm, into hot, into a customer. So it is a system that is supporting them with, let's say they come through a Facebook ad, they're clicking on your landing page, which if you're not sure what a landing page is, it's basically a page that way they can input all their information. That information is then going in to your enrollment structure, which is your funnel that is very much associated with your CRM. And what that is a series of emails and texts. So you would have got one when you signed up for our masterclass. That is automated. We're not there sending. I said we had over 250 people register so far for this masterclass, tuning in on multiple different platforms. We're not sitting there sending individual emails each time. So you're getting emails, we're getting texts, and then we make sure you've got an element of automation mixed with the phone call. Now, this is the piece that I drum on till the cows come home in our community, in our silver and gold mentorship programs, because I often see automation is fantastic, but you need an element of connection. You need an element of building relationships. We're working with people, we're working with parents, we're working with their children. So often now I see companies have gone so over to the other side where automation is awesome, but the connection has to be completely lost. And you will find 50% of your customers won't actually need a phone call because they'll be able to sign up for that trial. They'll be able to then sign up to the emails that you send them to become a member. But there are always loopholes. There are always missing people that we're missing, where 30 or 40% might not do anything. And you're thinking, well, they've had all the emails, they've had all the texts. Why are they not signing up? It often is that extra text, that extra picking up the phone and building that connection. In today's world, you need to zig when everybody's zagging. I can't tell you the amount of times people say to me, Katie, it's so competitive out there. There's 5 dance schools on my block. There's so many different swimming companies in my village, in my 3-mile, 4-mile radius. And the key is, yes, that's a good thing. It's clear that you're in a good area, because if you're the only one, you'd be even more worried if there's then not enough children. In London, there are loads of gymnastic clubs, but there's also a lot of children. So it's how you do things. It's thinking, if everybody's zigging, you zag. How can you make yourself stand out? How can you do things differently? How can you go the extra mile? That is when you start to see your business fly. And just by going the extra mile in the enrollment process, can't tell you the amount of times that we have parents that are literally, that will say to us, oh my goodness, thank you so much for your call. My children do multiple different activities. I've never once had a phone call to enroll them. It's always been through an email. There is a reason at Gold Medal, we do a lot of calling and we voice note you. That is intentional because we're not just robots. We're not just send a text. We're sending a copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So yes, we have the automation, but there's a level of personal reach out as well. So implement that into your enrollment structure when you're working with your cold leads. And that is exactly what your enrollment structure is. It's bringing them from your landing page as a cold lead. They're coming into your world. You've got the automation set up with emails and texts, and then you're giving them a call. We're going to go through these positions tomorrow of what this looks like from your team, but they're getting nurturing from technology, and they're also getting nurturing by a phone call. You will find when you combine the two, you will really see your leads go higher, because it may be just the 10%, it may be the 20%, but often the big leaps in your business, it's not this fancy antsy idea. It's not this massive new program. All the time, when I'm looking at our clients in our mentorship programs, businesses, it's not a big idea. It's like 10% there. I can find another 20 grand over there. I can see another 5 grand over there that we're missing. And all those little things make a massive, massive difference. So we've done tools. Number 2, we've done your enrollment structure. As said, it increases, it's taking the attraction, you're attracting them in, you're nurturing them, and then you're increasing your client's experience, which will then in turn increase your trials and increase the amount from trials to members, and then members increasing their retention as well, because the customer journey will go through all the way from cold lead, from trial to member, and then building out that customer experience as well. So I just want to take an opportunity before we have Shelley on. Shelley's about to share her fantastic experience with you. I just want you to pop a chat box so I can check we're all awake. I just want you to put in the chat box one thing that has landed so far. So if you're on YouTube streaming in, or if you're in Instagram, just pop us a DM and just put one thing that's landed. You may be doing this already, you may not, but one thing that has landed so far that you are going to implement. So I'm seeing some automation, getting a CRM. Someone has a CRM, but not the database. They've got a lot of that on spreadsheets. A lot of calls. Yeah. So the calls are the things that we often think, especially if you're a one-man band, even if you're a small team, it's often the thing that gets pushed to the side because we think we haven't got the time to do it. So thank you so much, guys. Okay. So we are going to now introduce our wonderful Shelley. So I can see she's waiting in the wings, as it were. So I invited Shelley on today to share her fantastic experience, because Shelley has been with us we've worked together for the last 7 months, 5, 6, 7 months. Oh, we got a visitor. Yeah. Emily's to say,
hi, Emily.
Emily's met Shelley lots of times. So Shelley, my gorgeous lady, welcome to our masterclass this evening. So Shelley's going to share, what I'd love for you to share first of all, Shelley, is a bit about your background, and then we're going to go into a few of the results that you've achieved since you've been with us in our Gold Mentorship Program. And I love that you've got your new awards in the background.
Did you notice that? They're just strategically placed behind me.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So yeah, share a little bit about your background, Shell, for our community to get to know you.
First of all, hello everyone. My name is Shelley. It's really nice to see you. I run a theatre school for children, and I've been in business for 15 years. I was a professional dancer, singer and actress, and I did that right up to the age of 30, when my legs wouldn't kick as high as everyone else's who was 19 anymore, and decided to actually buy a franchise, which is what I did. Had a franchise theatre school for 5 years, Found it quite restrictive, and then decided to go on my own. And 10 years later, I'm here on my own doing my thing. But I'd had my business for a long time before I ever even looked at a business coach or even knew one existed. I come from a purely performing arts background. As you can see, my jazz hands are here. I do not have a maths background. I do not have a business background. All of my qualifications are all in theatre. I can sing a top C and kick my legs very high, but I couldn't tell you how to work out an Excel spreadsheet until I came into the mentorship. So yeah, that's pretty much about my background. I don't know if you wanted to ask me questions, Katie, or how you wanted me to talk about it.
That is fantastic, Shell. And can you just now go on to, like, when you were, because obviously you've worked with business coaches before, very much like when we came on your radar, and Shelley came on a masterclass exactly like
just like you guys, yeah.
Kind of what was missing, what was your challenges, and very much what resonated with you to get started with us.
So I'd actually had 2 business coaches before. I'd had one for a year and I'd had one for 3 months, and both were brilliant. And both, I think, took my business to different levels, which was great. I didn't have the nurture side that you talk about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At all with either business coach. They were both brilliant, and I got really good results. And I am a grafter, so if you tell me to jump, I will say how high and I will do it. So they told me all these things I needed to do, and I'd done them all. And it wasn't that they weren't working, I just didn't feel, it's really hard to explain, but I just felt that with Katie there was a real connection. And she did reach out, she did look at my social media, she did know that I was a mum, and that something about my family, and all these connections weren't false. I think that's the difference. I think that is actually the word, false. And actually in some of the not necessarily the coaches I had, but some of the mentorships that I'd been in before, the community was quite false. The dance world can be quite false. And I just felt that this was very, very different. I liked the fact that I was going to be working with football coaches, gymnastics, gymnasts, other dancing schools, where I feel actually in our mentorship I can really help the other dancing schools because I've got so much experience. But equally, a football coach might give me some amazing ideas that I haven't even thought about bringing into my performing arts school. So I think it's been really good from loads of different angles, and having the group calls as well as the one-to-one has been brilliant, because I'd had just one-to-one before, and then I'd had just group calls, but having both of them for me was a bit of a winning
combination.
It just worked. It was just great. Yeah, it was a winning combination, really.
Amazing, Shell. And as Shelley said, she is a grafter, and you absolutely put the work in. Like anything in any mentorship program, you've got to put the work in. What we teach works, but we're no magic unicorns. You've got to do the work, and you've got to be present and show up, which you absolutely do. So Shelley, share with me. Go on, you go.
It was funny actually. I was having this conversation with my husband tonight, and we were talking about like how the business has changed in the last 6 months, and it has changed so much, guys. Like I can't even tell you how my business has changed. It's changed in every way.
Some of your key things that have changed since this time last year.
Income. So income has gone up 45% in just 7 months. I mean, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. So I paid for the mentorship within the first call. And I know that sounds really like that can't possibly happen, but it really, really did. One of the ideas that Katie suggested that I did just brought in an extra 56,000 to my business. It's just incredible. Then we had, there's just so many things, the automations that we didn't have properly. We weren't making calls to people. We weren't nurturing our customers. Somebody would send an email about an inquiry. I would answer it, and I'd answer it quickly because I was good at that. But then they didn't come for a trial, and that was it. They disappeared off the face of the earth, and I never heard from them again. Or they came for a trial. I'd followed them up because I was good at that bit. I'd phone them on the Monday and say, you came for a trial. And then, you guys know what it's like. You're in the same industry. you're in the similar industries, you know, sometimes that person will sign up straight away, and isn't that fantastic? But then sometimes they ghost you. And then they just disappeared off the planet, and that was it. They disappeared, and I never heard from them again. Whereas now, I have had 3 calls this week from parents who'd actually inquired 3 or 4 months ago, but because our on-support system is so good now, and I've got a sales manager in place, and I've got an administrator in place, all of these little things that are now in place, which I hadn't got 7 months ago, it's just incredible. And also, I think in terms of the amount of time I'm spending in the business, like I've spent all day today working on our new funnels for our CRM, but also I'm just about to launch another company, which I never would have imagined that I would have thought of doing. And again, that's through the mentorship, because we'd found an area where we could generate another source of income, which has turned itself into a whole new company. So yeah, by the end of this year, we'll have another company as well.
Amazing, show. And you're at that stage, and that's what I said when we got started together. And obviously what I shared with our community yesterday, I said one of our missions, our gold medal, is creating CEO business owners in the children's activity world. You're not a business owner, you have to be stepping into the CEO position right from the word go, and learning how to run it as a CEO, not in it. Because so often we're, you know, I see gymnastic gyms, dance schools, when they're, you know, early 70s, still running it and still doing it. And they might still want to do that maybe, but you want to have the choice. You might think, I just want to coach on a Monday night because it's my passion, but you've got that choice to do it. So you're wanting to make sure you've got the ability to do that. And that's what, you know, we're nearly, 7-8 months down the line working together. And now you've got the ability to be like, okay, I've got the time.
Yeah.
Now I've got different incomes, and I have the potential, if I want to start another business in another field, or complete the same and as a different tangent.
And having my weekends free. I mean, I obviously danced all my life, so all my shows were obviously, 8 shows a week, so every evening and at the weekends. So I'm kind of used to that way of working in the evenings and working in weekends and stuff. But when you're working in the business 24/7, and then you're going to classes in the evening, and you're teaching, and you're answering phones, and you're doing costumes, and you're whereas in January I will actually have my weekends free. I actually can't believe that. I'll still be, I went away, so I was actually at the Business Awards, sorry, I just thought I'd drop that in there, on Friday, and we went away for 3 days, and my team brought in 2 new students while I was away. That would never have happened 7 months ago, because I couldn't have left it. But one thing I do want to say before the end is he's not a dream stealer, because he's amazing, my husband. He really is. And he runs his own business as well. But he was very wary about me taking this on as a mentorship. And we were talking about, like going back, I didn't actually finish my story, but we were talking about how the business has grown and stuff like this. And we were in the car this afternoon, and he said, you know what? He said, you were really right about Katie and the business. And I was really wrong.
Love Rob.
We all love Rob. But he said, what has changed, not just in the business, but with you as a person. Like, I was so reactive because I was so in everything all the time that I didn't have the headspace to go, like I had a team member leave me at the weekend, and normally that would be like the end of the world, and I've reacted to the email that she sent me, in a cross way. I now kind of go, no, Shelley, breathe. Which I couldn't have done that time ago. Yeah. But also the amount of money for the mentorship, it's a lot. It is a lot of money. I didn't have that money just to hand. So for Rob, and obviously we got married this year as well, so we've had a big expensive year. And for him, he was like, that's a lot of money, Shelley, to invest, and I'm not sure you're going to get the return from it. Well, Katie, we can sit there and go, no, can't we now?
But he obviously had your best interest at heart, and it's nice.
He did. He absolutely did.
And he also was coming, and just share with everybody, Shell, just as we wrap up, of obviously you've shared results in what you've achieved with the time, with the income, the extra business, with the awards you've won, the income, can you just quickly share the different levels in your, from this time, from last year to this year, the increase in your turnover and the increase in your profit?
So our profit has gone up to just over 250,000. Our turnover's gone up to just over 250,000. Our profit is 110,000, which was like 70 last year. So that's gone up massively. Our turnover as well.
Next year we do profit of 250,000. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
The profit's good.
Yeah, the profit's been brilliant. And the student numbers, like we've increased 60 extra students this term. And I think also, I know I don't want to go on, I don't want to do it forever, because this is about you guys, but I just wanted to share just one last thing. When I took this on, I was running 5 shows. So a massive show with 250 students in it, a show at Blackpool Tower, a show in my local community, a carnival, and 2 weddings, all in the month that I took this on. So when people say, oh, that you haven't got time, believe me, I didn't have time and I managed to do it. So yeah, time is what you make it. And I'm a mum as well. My little girl dances every night. So it's really your headspace thinking about, do you want to be in the same place in 6 months time, which I didn't. And I'm not, I'm so excited to see what the next 6 months bring.
I'm excited, Shelley, because what you've achieved in 6 months is fantastic. You're in exactly the right space. And the key thing is that you've been in business for, 15 years and you were ready to go. You weren't just a beginner who was turning the water. You were ready to move because you've gone through all the ups and downs, the roller coasters. You've gone through the recessions, the COVID. You were like, it's go hard or go home now. Because
I think, to be honest, just after COVID, I was very, during COVID, I was ready to just hang in the towel. I mean, I'm sure loads of you guys were as well. But, when I came out of that and we were just about breaking even all the time, I just thought, what is the point of this? And I'm working all the hours God sends. And what am I getting back from this? Whereas now that everything's just in place, I just feel like I can breathe again. I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but hey, I am a bit dramatic. But I can just breathe and go, right, okay, today, what am I going to do? And also, I wouldn't spend that long in the office. I'd be like, oh, my friend's meeting me for a coffee. Oh, yeah, I'll go for a coffee today. Or, yeah, I'll go out for lunch or blah, blah, blah. And, whereas now it's like, no, I've got this to do,
Phenomenal. So I'm so excited to see your journey for the rest in the next 6 months as we continue working together, Shelley, and for the next years and years and years. So thank you so much, Shelley, for sharing and honouring us with your time this evening, because there's no better, I can share about our clients' experiences, but there's no better way for you to come on and share your story. So thank you, Shelley, so much, and go and enjoy your evening.
You're so welcome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, Shelley. Okay, wonderful. So before we go on to, as said, today that we've been sharing about your tools and your database, we've been sharing about your enrollment structure. Before I move on to going a little bit about the importance of your customer experience and building attrition, I just wanted to share a little bit of information on what the program and the mentorship is, what Shelley was talking about, and the one that she got started with 6-7 months ago. We have a bronze, silver, and a gold mentorship program. Now, this very much today opens our silver and our gold mentorship program. This is very much for you if you're over 6 figures a year. So this is for you if you're in between 100,000 to 1 million turnover per year. So if you are turning over under that, do not worry, we have a program for you, but this is not the one for you that's going to help and nurture you to that level. So if you're under 6 figures, reach out to our team so we can recommend the right one for you. If you're in this position where you are wanting to have more time, you want to decrease the amount of stress in your business, you want to build a business that is, just like Shelley just said, you may be you've come so far. You've got yourself to where you can. You're now like, what is next? And just like Shelley was saying, this is a mentorship program. It is an investment. It's over 12. It was 10. It's 12,000 a year. You can pay that for a year and you get 2 months free, or you can pay on a payment plan. It is a hybrid of one-to-one tuition mixed with group coaching. From my experience of being in the industry for 20 years and being coached and masterminded myself, I've been coached for the last 20 years, and I truly believe in the power of mentorship. I wouldn't be here today with the success that I've achieved without someone holding my hand and holding me to accountability. When you combine the hybrid of those two, you get fantastic results because you've got community, but you've also got customization. So this is a mentorship for you if you are serious about your business. This is not a mentorship if you want to dip your toe in, if you want to give it a go. Whenever I hear those words from people, I'm like, this is not the mentorship for you. You need to jump in with both feet and you run with it. If you give us 100%, we give you 150. Because just like Shelley said, you need to be implementing. This is the mentorship for you where you want to decrease time. So very much what our students achieve with us in 1 year is what we see majority of people achieve in 5, if they ever get there. Because the missing piece to where you're wanting your business to be, whether it's better cash flow, whether it's better more time, whether it's a better team, whether it's a better lifestyle, whatever your vision is, there's a reason why you're not there, is because there's a gap in knowledge. It's a little bit like, I always say, always relate back to my gymnastic days. You know, I walked into the gym at age 4 and I could barely stand up straight probably, and I couldn't forward roll. I graduated at 22 with as a 5 times British champion. I represented Great Britain at 2 World and 2 Europeans. That did not happen without a coach supporting me every step of the way. Just like learning to drive. You don't start and then be like, oh, I'm just going to teach myself. It doesn't happen because there's a gap in your knowledge. So I said, this mentorship is for you if you're serious about growth, you're serious about investing in yourself, and you know we're enrolling now. The reason why we're enrolling now, not 2025 and waiting, is because what you do now is going to reflect, it's that 90-minute gateway. What you do now, you will see in your business in January. So when I said to Shelley, Shelley's exact words to me were, Katie, I'm getting married in May. And it was mad. She had a wedding in the UK and a wedding in Greece. And she said, I'm going to give it till September. And I said, you won't see the results. We can get started in September together. No problem at all. When the time's right, I'm here for you. But you're not going to see the results till January. Because it's like going to the gym. You start working out and you're like, gosh, I've been twice. Where's the results? Same in your business. It takes 90 cycles, 90-day cycle to really start seeing that growth in your business. So she started in May and her business is booming now, 5, 6, 7 months on. So if you're serious about 2025 and making it completely transformational, you're not starting in March, you're starting now. Success loves speed. And I said, this is for you. If you're super serious, you're completely willing to put the work in, and you're wanting a team of people to support you that have been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. So if that is you and you want further information, I just want you to comment mentorship in the chat box, or if you're streaming on all of our platforms, I want you to put mentorship in our chat boxes so that our team could get in touch with you. So moving on to our third point, I said we've built out our tools and our database. We build out our enrollment structure. Our third point is what I briefly touched on with your customer experience. So we often forget about this. We try so hard to pull a new member through the door. We're so focused on the front end of the funnel, as it were. We're so focused on bringing that new person into a trial. We're so focused on converting trial to member. As soon as they become a member, we're like, ooh, can now take a deep breath, and our team relaxes. But you want to impress them off the back end just as much as you impress them on the front end. So you want to ensure you're in customer experience. This will in turn will decrease your attrition, will increase your retention. And you will find when you've got those stepping stones in place for your customer, where you're nurturing them throughout their journey. Now, this isn't like every single day calling them up, checking they're okay, but it's very much checking in. You may making sure like a week after they've enrolled, have they got their membership box? Have they got their leotard? Have they got their uniform? Whatever you may offer. Are they comfortable in their class? Does the timing work for them? Because like I said with the time, like I said with the calling, it is going above and beyond. And yes, it does take extra time. But you will find when we've looked at our own numbers on this, but we've also looked at our client numbers on this, we found that this one exercise, just on the back end for customer experience, we do a whole massive customer retention cycle, which is around 25 mini systems within our retention processes that we teach. This is just one of them. And when you implement this, we found there's a 10%. Yes, it sounds small, but those 10% added up over the big picture make a big difference. If you've got a business that's turning over 700,000-800,000 a year, that 10% is a big margin. So we found just by doing this really supported, the backdrop that you get, where you may have 30 people enroll 1 week or 1 month, whatever your numbers are looking like. And you will always get a few by month, like by week 3, week 4, they get a bit shaky. It's normally maybe the 4 and 5-year-olds, especially as they're beginning school. So we make sure we've got a lot of focus on that front end. And just this week alone, I've been in the office hearing these conversations with our sales team and our admins, and they're literally saying, two of them have literally said, they've called the mum, the child is very, very tired. They've just started school. They're struggling with that 4 p.m. Monday class. They then offered to move them, if there was space, onto a weekend or into a different class. Now that saved that student. It sounds obvious, but it's so simple that we don't do it. Because that parent, we all hear about this, you won't know if there's something wrong most of the time. They just disappear or they just cancel. Sometimes you hear about it. Most of the times you don't. You don't often hear the good feedback. You often just hear the bad feedback. You have to ask. So just by making those little selected calls, saved a good couple of members by moving them to a better time that worked for them, rather than the parent just getting frustrated because the child is not in a good mood to go to class, they're tired, and they're just like, oh, stuff it, I'm just going to cancel it. Because they didn't know there's another option. Even though you might think, I've got all my classes on my website. Isn't it obvious? Parents are busy. Parents have 100 different billion things going on in their minds. What may sound obvious to us, you sometimes have to reach out and literally make that connection. I did not understand this until I became a parent of children that go to school. I used to be like, why are these parents so fluffy? Why are they asking these silly questions? Can they not see it? It's on the T&Cs. I've sent it out on the membership packs. But being a parent of 2 children that are at school, it is overwhelming. It is exhausting, the amount of communication that comes from schools. From a lost water bottle to a missing coat to a flu jab, whatever. There is a lot going on. And I know in our world, we think, it's very, very clear. It's very, very simple. But remember, we're a teeny piece of their world. They've got millions of other things going on. So going that extra mile with that phone call, with that extra reach out, makes you stand out, as opposed to them just thinking, I'll get back to them. I will call them. I will email them. Nothing comes. Before you know it, you've lost the student. So going through the top tips that we've gone through today in really supersizing your student numbers, as I said at the beginning, this is helping you internally. This is not top-end marketing. I could go on for days. One of my specialities is marketing internally and externally within your company. But this is a small section that if you're putting together correctly and you're nurturing it, meaning you're not just be like, thank goodness, it's done. Tick in the box. it can run. You've got to set it up and you've got to nurture. So the correct CRM and database in place, mixed with a nurtured, well thought out, structured enrollment platform into literally a customer service, customer experience journey. You get that right, you will see the percentages rise in your enrollment process. So if we're all still awake, give me a wave. I wish I could see everyone that's streaming in. I wish I could see. I'm looking at lots of different screens when I'm live with these. I wish I could see. Do you know, in the next couple of years, I hope you can have pictures on, you know, when you're streaming in on YouTube and Instagram. I hope we can see all your wonderful faces as well. So tomorrow, we are going to be moving on to really looking at your team. So we're really going to start looking at building your dream team. And this is where you'll start to see from Monday, building your productivity, to Tuesday today, really building out your Supersize and your student numbers, then how to actually do this with the right team in place. So as always, I would love for you to put into the Facebook group your top tip that you have learned today, the top one thing that you are going to implement. And I'm super excited to for you to join me tomorrow. So we're going to be working on your team and really looking at some of your seamless systems that you can put in place for your team. So one to absolutely not to be missed, because without a doubt, no matter what business you run on the planet, team is always the area that needs the biggest help and is the biggest brain ache in your business, because we're working with wonderful humans who have a billion different emotions that come up and a billion different excuses. So see me tomorrow as we're starting to build out our team. Thank you so much for joining me on day 2. It's an absolute honor to be with you this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. See you tomorrow, guys, for day